Hello guys, and welcome to a new video on my channel after a few months of break since my last thru hike. There has been a video that I've been wanting to make for a while, and that is my post-trail gear review, because I really like to provide some insights into how satisfied I was with my gear, especially after I shared my gear setup for this year. This was a video I was especially excited for, and I just didn't find the time to make it, but today is the day. I have created an Excel list with all my gear, and we will go through it from the best to the worst. So I have ranked all my gear from things that I really liked to things that I absolutely hated, and we will start with the things that I liked and we will end with the things that I hated. And in fact, I hated them so much, if I had gotten the possibility to change them during the hike, I would have changed them. But unfortunately, there was not really an option. We start with my favorite item, which is, one surprise, my backpack. I hiked with the Hyper Mountain Gear Junction 2400, that's like the small version. And that was my first long hike with this pack. I did get a new pack for this season because my old pack, which is the Gossamer Gear Mariposa 60, had so many holes and durability issues. After just 2 thru hikes, I decided I want to have something that's a bit more durable. And even though I've really wanted to get an Adam Packs backpack, it was just too expensive. Mostly because of the customs and tax that you have to pay. The price of the backpack alone is totally fine, but it just gets like 25% higher just because of the tax. And I was not really ready to afford that, but that's my dream pack on the list. Anyway, I'm talking about my pack that I actually have. So yeah, it did amazingly well. I was a bit afraid putting it on for the first time that I thought, oh, maybe I wouldn't be so comfortable, maybe it would give me some pressure points or something. But actually it carried extremely well, even when it was fully loaded. I actually didn't feel the pack at all, so that was quite a surprise. It was very comfortable, even though it doesn't look like it's comfortable. And the material is extremely robust, so I have no wear and tear after this trail, whereas when I hiked the trail with my Mariposa, it had the first holes in the mesh and in the bottom part of the main compartment. So I'm extremely happy with this pack, even though it's a bit of a mainstream pack, but it worked for me, so I really liked it. And I think that it looks cool. It looks so slick, and I feel like the weight is distributed like so well. It's so close to my body that even though I have to climb, it doesn't feel like it's weighing me down or pulling me back or anything. So that's really good. The next thing is quite of a small item that made me very happy, and it's my shorts. I have been looking for shorts for a long time before the trail, and everything that I tried, even though it was things that were reviewed by many times, like for example the Patagonia shorts, these ones that everyone wears, I don't know, they didn't work for me. They gave me chafing and everything else. But then I found these tights, shorts, but they are not super short, because when they are super short they roll up on my thighs. But these are actually a bit longer, more like cycling length, and they have phone pockets on the sides. They were extremely durable, and I was super satisfied with these pants, even though I did not think that these would be one of the items that I liked the most. But no chafing, no problems. Good. Made me very happy, especially because I was looking for a very long time for some proper hiking pants, and I just didn't find anything. Really, I have tried everything. I've ordered so many pants, and I think that these are especially good for girls that have like wider thighs like me, and yeah, they just always chafe. They have to be covered, otherwise they chafe. So these worked perfectly fine for me. The third thing, it's also a small thing that gave me a lot of joy, is this hat. It is so lightweight, it weighs literally nothing. I don't even feel that I'm wearing it. It looks cool, it makes my face have shade. I just realized that this is very personal, like probably other people would not have such a strong relationship with their hat, but I just absolutely love this hat. Okay, let's get to the next one. My trail runners. I think this is very high up on the list because I spent every single day in these shoes, and if they are not good, you will be pissed. And I have mentioned these shoes so many times, but it's the same shoe as every year. It's the La Sportiva Bushido. This is the exact pair that I hiked the Slovenian Mountain Trail with. You can see that the sole is a little bit worn down, but I do still hike in them. They just fit so well. They don't have a lot of cushion, so this is probably what surprises a lot of people. They have a very low stack height, and they do have a little bit of a drop. I think it's 6 millimeters. I personally don't really feel the drop very much. These shoes are so grippy, even when it's wet. They will hold onto anything. So I was extremely happy about these shoes, like in all my previous hikes as well. I can only recommend them, and I will definitely take these shoes also for hiking the PCT next year. By the way, La Sportiva, if you want to sponsor someone for hiking shoes, I'm waiting. Okay, just kidding. Number 6. Actually, number 5. My sports bra. One of these things that you don't really think is a really important thing, but again, you wear it all day, and if it sucks, then it really sucks. And I have this extremely thin sports bra that is made of merino wool, and it is really like a low support bra. So if you have big boobs, this will not really be nice for you. But for me personally, I never wear a bra at all, and I would go completely braless if I could on a hike. But the problem is that as soon as I take a break, I take my shirt off. So I have to wear a bra when I hike, and this is the bra. It is not extremely durable because it's wool, so you might have to replace it after a through hike. Then the next thing is my fanny pack. I have this Cotopaxi fanny pack, which I have been bringing on my last 2 hikes, and basically I just like that it's so big. Like, it fits so many things. I always have several things in there. Sometimes my power bank, sometimes my headlamp, my spoon, snacks, everything. And it's so nice because everything that's in your fanny pack is technically worn weight, so it makes your base weight a lot lighter. That's not actually the reason. The reason that I like it is because it's always accessible, so I don't have to take my pack off all the time. And when I go to town or I do a shopping and I leave my backpack outside, I can still take the most valuable things inside with me, like my wallet, my phone, and other things. So that's really, really practical. The only thing that I dislike is that it's not waterproof. That would be perfect. So I liked it, but it's not one of the perfect items. Okay, the next thing is my fleece. I have this Patagonia R1 full zip fleece. This is actually a few years old now. Like, I think I bought this before my first thru hike on the Slovenian Mountain Trail, so it's 3 years old now, and it has actually it did have a hole. I have to take that back. It did have a hole that I fixed myself. That was right next to the zipper, so it's basically invisible. I can't even find now where I had to make the stitches. Here. This is what I made. I will not zoom in on that. Oh, maybe I will, it's funny. It's relatively light. It is extremely warm. And it just, I really like that it has this super tight hood that you can put under your helmet for skiing, for hiking. I mean, most people probably hike without a helmet, but in the context of the trail that I hiked last, I had to have a helmet. So that's especially nice with this hood. And generally it's just extremely high quality. Like, it hasn't been broken after 3 years of hiking, backpacking, skiing, and not just through hikes, also day hikes and all that stuff. So I'm really happy about this, and I would absolutely buy this again if I would need a new fleece. So the next thing on this list is my stove. I was so positively surprised by the stove because I have bought myself I need to look up the name, BRS20. Everyone probably knows it. It's this super tiny stove that comes in the green stuff sack, and I was a bit worried that it wouldn't be as safe or it wouldn't be as strong as my pocket rocket that I had before, but in fact it was absolutely fine, and I was so excited that it fits into my pot because the previous one didn't. So this tiny boy right here, Slab's roof, this tiny boy has boiled a lot of food effectively, and yeah, not without burning, but that's my problem. So yeah, I was extremely excited because I just bought it right before the trail and it worked perfectly well. Actually, another item that I have not listed but just comes to my mind right now is my water filter. I bought this platypus water filter that I don't have in my pile now, but I will insert a picture. The platypus water filter, the blue one, I think it's called the Quick Draw or something. Oh no, probably not. Something with straw. But this water filter was so fast compared to my Sawyer. I would never go back and buy a Sawyer again. I had the Sawyer Mini. That's like, I have to say that because I know that the Sawyer Squeeze is a lot better. But in Austria and Germany, you cannot buy the Sawyer Squeeze other than buying it from the US, which is extremely expensive. So I've never had a squeeze. But now this platypus water filter was extremely great. So nice. And you don't even have to back flush it. I can only recommend that thing. Next thing on the list is my headlamp. This headlamp actually was a present from my boyfriend last Christmas. It's the Nightcore NU25. That's a very popular headlamp, but it's super light, super bright, and the charge honestly lasted me for the whole trail. I didn't charge it again. I charged it at home and then I didn't have to charge it again. Probably it's still working now. Yeah, still working. And like every headlamp, it has several modes. I mostly use it in the red mode, which is probably why it still has some charge left. And it indicates the charge somewhere here. Yeah, super happy to charge it with the USB cable, which I think is nice because I had some problem with my last headlamp that was running on batteries. Next thing on the list is my merino shirt that I wore for sleeping. It's a DeWalt Expedition shirt. This is quite heavy and quite thick. I also have this for 3 years now. It has some small holes, but it's so warm, it's so comfy, it just feels so good. I get cold very quickly after exercise, so as soon as I stop I have to get into some warm clothes, and this thing is perfect. It's just so warm. So I really liked it, and that was a present from my mom. And I think she made a good choice. You have these holes for your thumbs, which I really like because it keeps my hands a bit warmer. It has a hood and it's just super thick. Oh yeah, and the other plus is then when it gets really cold, I can also hike in it, even though I try to separate my hiking clothes from my sleeping clothes because I like to get into something clean in the evening. But if it gets really cold, I would also hike in it. The next item that I really liked is my sleeping bag liner. That's a very thin, I think it's a fabric that comes from, I wanted to say cucumbers, but it's not from cucumbers. It's from, well, it's silk. It's silk. It does not come, it comes from these small caterpillars, right? Yeah, this liner, this is a silk cotton blend. It's super light, and I get into this liner before I get into my sleeping bag because I just don't want to get my sleeping bag dirty. And it just gave me so much joy in the evening getting into this liner first because I was like, yeah, I protect my holy sleeping bag. So I really like it for being so light, for being washable. That's the perfect thing. Next thing already is the sleeping bag, which I forgot in my gear storage, so I will get it for a second. Yeah, this is the Rap Mythic 600. So the comfort, the comfort is 10 degrees Fahrenheit. and the extreme is minus 32 degrees Celsius and minus 25 degrees Fahrenheit. I think that the comfort is more around 20 Fahrenheit, to be honest, but I'm a girl and I sleep cold, so that is probably, yeah. Of course, these ratings are always made for men, but I would say for women, like 20 degrees Fahrenheit is comfort. So, I was happy with the sleeping bag, mostly because it is extremely light, it feels nice, and it is very warm. The only thing that I don't like so much is that you have to be really careful with the zipper. If you open it, there's a chance that you get the fabric stuck in the zipper and that it rips very easily. I had to patch one of these incidents already, and it's fine now, but you have to be really careful because it's really very, very fragile material. Okay, the next thing on the list is my battery pack. It's inside of this stuff sack here. This stuff sack is further down on the list. This is the battery pack. It's the Anker PowerCore 20,000, so it has 20,000 milliamperes. It's a lot of charge. It's quite heavy, but a lot of charge, and it never got empty on the last hike. I can charge my phone several times with it, and I never really run out of battery anywhere. So I was happy with that. Next thing on the list, by the way, we're still in the green area, not in the dark green, but in the green area. And next thing on the list is my merino wool sleeping pants. This is actually merino wool underwear from Icebreaker. It's the Oasis 200. Yeah, it's just a very thin merino wool long underwear. Actually, I use these also for skiing, but on the trail I sleep in them because they are just super light, and if it's cold outside I can keep them on in the morning, which is quite cool. But yeah, I'm super happy with them because they are so light. The biggest downside is that they are very expensive. I think you pay around 100 euros for these, and they will only last you for one hike. So you really have to think about if that's worth it, because you might as well just get a cheap pair of leggings or tights. But I personally just don't like to sleep in this polyester, like it makes me have a weird feeling on my legs. So I prefer to sleep in natural fibers, but it comes with a price. Next thing that I also liked a lot is my spoon. Where is this spoon? It's a good question. In here. Yeah, the spoon. This is the Tokes titanium spoon, and what's special about it is that it has a polished bowl that I actually haven't cleaned after coming back from my hike. Yeah, but it has this polished bowl, so you don't have this like weird titanium feeling when you eat from it. And it has a long handle, which is always nice to get the last bits out of the Nutella jar. And it was not very expensive, and I just really like it. It's like, again, probably very personal, but high value for me. And right, the next thing on the list is the pot. This is also the Tokes titanium pot. The most common pot, probably, not anymore maybe, but a few years ago. This is the 650 milliliter version, which honestly I think is very small. If I would buy a new pot, I would get a bigger one, because if I eat one portion, I'm like not 100% full, and you don't want to cook a second time. But it's quite good because it's not so big, so it saves some packing space. The only thing that I don't like is that, I mean, this is probably generally the problem with using the gas stove, but everything burns. Maybe I'm just personally not very good at cooking in these, but whenever I make a porridge, the bottom is totally burned, even though I stir. It's like I'm looking away for 5 seconds and it's already burned. So you have to be very skilled to cook with it properly, or just use a lot of water. But yeah, that's the only downside I have around the pot. Now we're entering the yellow area. So these are things that I'm quite neutral about. I'm not specifically liking them, but I'm also not specifically disliking them. And the first 3 things that are here, that's my climbing equipment. It's mostly neutral because honestly, I didn't use it in the sense of I fell, like I didn't fall. So I don't know how well they would have been in case of like emergency, or in case of I would actually need them, but I've been carrying them, and so I can basically only say something about them theoretically and about the weight. So this is my helmet. This helmet is really nice. I use it for everything. I use it for climbing, I use it for ski touring. Sometimes I ride the bike with it, only when I go to the climbing gym. But it weighs literally nothing. And for a trail like the Slovenian Mountain Trail, where you have to carry the helmet for a whole month, for using it maybe 10 times, it's very nice when it's light. And this helmet is very nice. This is the Petzl Meteor, one of the lightest climbing helmets. Next thing is my climbing harness. This is the Blue Ice Chukas. Blue Ice Chukas, yeah. Weird name. And this is a very flimsy, minimalistic harness that is actually made for mountaineering and ski mountaineering. It is made for climbing, like you can fall into it and you will not die, but of course it's not comfortable. There's no padding, nothing, but it weighs only 50 grams. So that was my argument, because I knew when I do a via ferrata, I will not fall into the via ferrata. I mean, at least I hope so, because as soon as you fall, you will probably need to go to the hospital anyway. And this thing is mostly just for the people rescuing you, that they can get you somehow off the wall. Because you will have severe injuries anyway. So I thought I take the risk. And this is my via ferrata set. This is the Petzl Vertigo. Yeah, Petzl Scorpio Vertigo. It's one of the lightest via ferrata kits, and basically I didn't have to use it. I mean, I had to clip in 2 times maybe, but it's very easy to open it. Like, you just have to push it down and then pull it in. And I really like that it's so easy, because with some other via ferrata kits, it's hard to press the carabiner or whatever. And this is quite intuitive, easy, and super fast, and of course super light. So that was basically why I liked it. But again, this is in the neutral category, because I didn't fall, so I don't know how the things behave when actually they would be needed. So I can only judge that they were light, and that's nice. Next thing is my puffy. I was not especially hyped about my puffy. This is the Montbell Down Parker. Montbell Superior Down Parker. It's yeah, it's not super warm. I had a warmer down jacket before, but I wanted to get a new one because I want to have a lighter one. Surprise, the lighter one is not as warm. So it is warm enough, but it's not really warm. I think for the price, it's okay, but you can get cheaper ones. Like, for example, if you get a Decathlon down jacket, so much better for the price. So I don't think that I don't regret getting it, because I like it. I like that it's light and I like the color, but it's really not that warm. For summer trips, it's okay, but as soon as I get to the shoulder seasons, I would like to have something a bit warmer. My sleeping pad. This is also, I have to say, I'm neutral about it. I'm neutral because it's relatively comfortable, but I don't really sleep very well on it. Like, I've tried other pads, but there was no pad that I really liked, so it's like the best option, but still not good. I had actually the older version until, yeah, basically this year. I bought this just before the trail because my other one got a puncture after 4 years. So that's okay, I would say, but you always have to be very careful with this. You can't just throw it on the ground like with a CCF pad, a closed cell phone pad. And when I sleep on this, and I always sleep on the side, my arm falls asleep after, I don't know, like an hour. So I have to move around in the tent all the time, because on either side that I sleep, my arm will fall asleep. That's not very nice, but that's not the fault of the pad, I think, because as I said, I've tried others and I've always had issues, and so this is in the neutral category. Next thing in the neutral category is my bidet. It's a very small bidet that you can put on top of a bottle. Well, now I actually don't know where it is. Oh, it's not in here. I have to get it from the gear room. Be right back. Okay, I'm back with the poop kit. the poop kit basically consists of two things. My trowel, this is the deuce of spades, and my bidet and some dirt from the last trail. So basically this bidet you put on top of a bottle and then it cleans your butt. That's what a bidet does. It's super small, so that's nice. But there was one problem on this trail, on the Slovenian Mountain Trail, that there was not a lot of natural water. So very often I had to think twice whether or not I want to use a bidet or just toilet paper. So I ended up carrying both anyway. It was nice though to sometimes clean my butt, because also all the sweat and dirt can get flushed away. So that was really nice, but I didn't always use it when I had to poop in the wild. So yeah, I'm neutral about it. Next thing is the GPS. I have the Garmin InReach Mini, and I'm also neutral about this because I never had to use it in emergency actually. You probably all know this boy. And I'm neutral because whenever I do need to use it to send a message to someone because I don't have service, it takes forever to send the message. Whenever I want to get the weather and I don't know, I'm unlucky, the weather takes hours. So most of the time I don't need it, so I just have it. And then when I do need it, I'm frustrated because everything takes so long. On the other hand, it's still nice to be able to get the weather and messages, so I'm like, I don't know, it's okay. Now to the things that I don't like so much. My rain jacket. I have the Outdoor Research Helium, which I have read a lot of times that people really like it. And while it is really light, it really is light, I'm always wet. Either from the rain or from the inside, like my sweat or whatever. So at some point I just started hiking in the rain without a rain jacket, just getting my shirt off and hiking in underwear, like pants and a bra, because I felt like it was quicker to dry my skin than to dry my clothes from under the rain jacket. And of course this is only possible when it's warm. Luckily it was warm. Sometimes when we were in the high mountains, of course I was wearing the rain jacket, but I didn't really feel that it was keeping me dry. I don't know if other people made similar observations. I've never washed the jacket, so because sometimes when you wash a jacket that has a membrane, you can break the membrane by not properly washing it, but I have never washed it. So I don't know, maybe it's just not a very good rain jacket. Next thing that I didn't like so much is my food bag. This is a DCF bag from actually an Austrian company. I really wanted to buy something more local, so I bought from this Austrian company. And while it is light, that's nice, but first of all, it has really shrunk. Like, it was a lot bigger, I feel like, when I got it. Like, this is a really small food bag, right? And also, this is already the second one. The first one was broken after 3 days. It had so many small holes in the bottom, and I'm not just throwing it on rocks. It was always like, I don't know, but it was broken so quickly. And then I reached out to them, and the customer service gave me a discount code so I could buy a new one, which is really nice. I just got the second one basically for free, but I'm just not happy with it. I wouldn't buy it again. Like, the material is so thin that really it's not worth it. If you have to replace it after every single hike, I think it doesn't make sense. And so we also get to the next, it's not a food bag, but stuff bag, whatever. This one, I really like the design because I made the design. This is from Hilltop Packs. I bought it in Washington, but also it has so many holes. It has so many holes. There's like, at this point, it's more tape than it is bag, which is quite sad because it was not cheap. And I do like that it has this small roll top, and I like that it has 2 compartments inside, so I get my cables and my battery pack separately. But it just broke so quickly, and when I buy such things, I'm hoping that they last me several hikes and not just one. So that's why I'm not so satisfied. And then now we get to the red category. Things that I really didn't like. Looking at you, Gossamer Gear Tent. I have this Gossamer gear, the one, which I bought for a really good price. It was probably around 200 euros, like not even, yeah, a little bit over $200. But first of all, it has holes in the floor, which I don't know. The material that they used for the floor is so extremely thin. I don't know why they use it. And of course it's extremely thin, it has holes. I have tried to patch them, but they are still there. And the second problem is that the condensation in this tent is horrible. I wake up wet every morning when it's a dry night, just because of all the condensation. And then I'm really tall, I'm around 6 feet, 1 meter 80, and I touch the ends of the tent with both my feet and my head. So you have to imagine the walls are full of condensation, and as soon as I move around a little bit, all the water comes down at me. So I'm always wet in the morning, and I just don't like that. The second problem is that the tent, the fabric just soaks up the water. So the tent is extremely heavy every morning, because every morning the tent is wet. So it was just so frustrating. I've bought a DCF tent yesterday. By the way. Okay, so I was not happy with it. I would not recommend it, and I will buy a new one. Already bought a new one. Okay, last thing on the list. The last thing, the thing that I hated the most on my last thru hike is, people that know me or people that hike with me already know what's coming now. Everyone else doesn't know it. So let's look for it. Aha, here it is, you little fucker. This is my Black Diamond sun shirt. It's called the Black Diamond Alpenglow hoodie. I hate this thing. I absolutely hate it because my expectations were so high, and well, they were not met, not even a little bit. So what Black Diamond claims, they claim that it's water repellent, which sounds cool, right? The first thing, like, I got the shirt, I put it on, I was like, oh, it feels quite nice. Then I was drinking, and like always when I drink from my Nalgene, I put some water over my whole mouth. The water gets on the shirt, and it's really like, it's not going into the shirt, it's like little droplets. Whoa. I'm like, wow, it's really water repellent, how cool. One day later, again some water on the shirt, it's immediately getting into the shirt. I'm like, okay, that didn't last long. But I understand, because what if I wash the shirt? The water has to go in, right? Okay, so first expectation, okay, I can live with that. I don't need a waterproof shirt. That's not why I bought it. Then this shirt has these like mesh inserts under your armpits, where you would think, oh, that's nice for ventilation. Not really, doesn't work. And then the next problem, this shirt smells so bad. It smells so incredibly bad. I've never had a piece of clothing that smells as bad as this shirt. You can smell it through the camera. And what Black Diamond also claimed, that this shirt is a quick dry shirt. No, this shirt doesn't even dry overnight. It has always been wet. It has never been getting dry, really. And I was always freezing in this shirt, because when it's wet and it's windy and this fabric is kind of like cold, even when I touch it, it's colder than the room temperature. I was always freezing in this shirt. I was better off hiking without a shirt, and I bought it for sun protection, so it didn't really do the job. That said, I hate this thing. I cannot recommend it. Don't buy it. Or if you want, I have told you. Okay, guys, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please share with your best friend. Please. It would be nice. I mean, let me know what is your most hated piece of gear. Or maybe your most hated piece of gear was on the list. I know a lot of people hate the Gossamer gear tent, so yeah, let's connect about the things we hate. No, just kidding. Yeah, let me know what is your favorite piece of gear, what is your most hated piece of gear, and let me know what kind of video you would like to see next. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm just gonna say goodbye now and see you in the next video.